Alrighty. So I'm going to start by clipping all of these layers to the base color layer, because I set all of this up in IBIS. And so now what I want to do is have it be ideal for Krita. Alright, and the way to do that is actually really neat. You just right click your layer, or you can even, if you're on tablet mode, you can long press it. And then you can go to group and quick clipping group. And so now there's this group applied here, and anything that goes in here gets clipped onto this. So you can drag your other layers in, put it in there, and boom, suddenly it's clipped to this layer. So now anything that happens to the whole group will happen to the layers in it. Or I guess the reverse of that. However I'm supposed to say that. There we go. So anything that was below the other ones, I'm going to just put in here. I'm actually going to have to undo some of this though, because I forgot the layer order already, which is fun. Okay, so anything that goes above the other thing, just put it above the other thing like it is. Put it in the group now! And then the line art can stay out of the group because it needs to go on top of it. Now I think what I did actually was a mistake. I was supposed to make a quick clipping group, but I think I made, quick group. So that was a mistake. Yeah, that's why I was confused before. You've got this mask layer that is applying its alpha channel to all the other layers. So what's cool about that is when you put these in the group, you can hit this little A and it will turn on the alpha lock. So now none of that spills outside of what it's clipped to. And that's always a really helpful feature. Really fun feature. Oh yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the rest of these as well. Go ahead and alpha channel lock. Alpha lock. And alpha lock. You are locked into being an alpha male. Alright. Now that that's set up properly, the next thing that I will do is move on to my typical shading method. So I'm going to add a new layer, lock the alpha channel. And I like to go with my 50% hard light layer with this specific blue. And then I'm just going to take really any brush, because what I'm going to be doing for this is erasing. But first I'm going to just get a huge brush and color all this in. Probably should have used a more solid brush. That way it wouldn't lag. Or just reduce the brush size a little bit. But now that that's done, I can hit the little erase button to turn any brush that is active into an eraser. And you can then adjust the opacity. Somewhere around like 30% would probably be good for this. And you can create light just by erasing the darker color that you just made. And so that is usually how I will do my shading. And then you can just adjust your brush size to get some more detailed areas. And then with all of this, if it looks rough at first, you could just use a smudging tool on it later. Let me see if I've got one here. Yeah, you just smudge all that together. And it really just smooths it out and basically turns it into a gradient, which will make your life a lot easier. I love my gradients. There we go. We'll do a little bit here. And I could honestly switch over to this brush I like a lot. The Circle Blend from someone named Rakuri. I remember this was in a free brush pack and it is pink. You can see that it has harder edges to it, and you could really just start with like sharp areas here. So this will be good for defining the forms and the shapes of different areas of her body. And then we can obviously smooth that out later Because there's also this blender blur, which I think might just be built into, yeah, it's a Krita default brush. And it lets you even further blend stuff together, which is insane. It's for smoothing out areas. Let's see here. I'll probably use this bigger airbrush for the main erasing job. And this is also a Krita default brush. So you just kind of have access to this immediately. Yeah, this is probably what I'll be using more of. This is actually my first time doing this part of the process on Krita. I usually do it on Ibis and then transfer over to Krita for smaller things, but I think it'll be cool to do something a little different this time and actually do the main process in here. There we go. And this is already coming along really well. Let's see, I'm going to shrink this down a bit. Get some of her ears. There we go. Get her little eyebrows. Just get a little bit of areas where the light would logically be hitting. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm just gonna get a few more areas and then I'll move on to the next step. Alright. Now I'm going to take all these edges and do more of the hardening with this amazing brush. The Rakuri one. That brush set has helped me so much. And that is something I would recommend to anybody, is just to look online for free or paid brush sets, or you can alternatively learn how to do your own, but that's something I haven't done yet. And for now, these ones more than do the trick. They're great. I really like how this brush lets you just chisel areas. Like, you can just make it look pretty much however you want. And you can do multiple layers of it, or you can just do a tiny little bit. But it really gives you all the control you could ever want. And then any edges that you don't want to be like a hard edge, later you can just smooth it out. Which is great. There we go. Larger brush for her hand. Then I can't forget to grab these areas. I almost did, though. And then I'm going to go over the last few areas that I want to just smooth out. There we go. I'm going to start with her hand just because it's close enough to the viewer that all of this stuff is much more noticeable. And if you don't have it how you like it, it will become an annoyance later, which is not ideal. And honestly, that's looking really good, I think. And now, I'm going to make another layer alpha locket. This one I like to keep on full opacity. And that is an add layer. You can either use addition or I believe color dodge might be the same thing, but I don't remember. It's one of these things. but I'm gonna stick with addition for now. So I'm actually going to check the hex code for this color because I don't have it in the palette on here. I only have it on IBIS because I'm lazy. Very lazy. Alright. Let's see here. I'm going to put in the hex code for it. And it is hashtag 8C A6 FF. There we go, and that should be good. Enter. Yeah, it's this really nice light blue sort of thing. I think I can just, yeah. Alright, so now that I have that selected, I can go here and grab a brush that I want, probably just this airbrush. That's usually what I would be using. Up the opacity on it, remove the eraser mode, and then you just start drawing. There we go. You can get some really nice color here. And you can even use the other brush to just manipulate the light, because that sounds powerful. I'm a light manipulator. I have the power. So anywhere that it feels like it makes sense to have light hitting, it doesn't even have to actually make sense. That's been my philosophy for a long time, is if it just feels correct, then it probably is. And why bother thinking about it if it's probably correct? There we go. Get this a little larger too. We can blend these colors better. Alright. And now we'll just take this little fella and just start smudging it. Yeah, that's already looking pretty good. And so now, I'm going to grab this one again, shrink it down to about 20 pixels, and just draw over this. Guide this here. There we go. And then just pick some kind of brush to have an eraser mode on. I'll just use this calligraphy one for now. Though I really shouldn't. Yeah, I'll just pick this one. Alright. There we go. I like that on her ear. It makes it easier to see. Should make it easier to hear, but you know. Alright, let me go back to this bad boy. Yeah, there we go. I'm liking this workflow. And we're just gonna keep doing this for a while. There's something fishy going on here. Oh wait, it's me. Okay, my brain isn't working. There we go. This is already a lot of fun though, and since that's what art is supposed to be, I think I'm doing good. Yes. Yes. Whoa. Something just flew at me. Ah, yeah, dude. I'm liking this already. I know it's not perfect, but who cares? It doesn't have to be. Whoa. Whatever that is needs to stop. Oh, crap. I just noticed your message. Hello. Hey, yo. Happy avocado. I'm gonna try to pay more attention to the chat from here on out. What the heck is flying? I don't even know what that is. There's a freaking monster in here trying to get me. Okay. But yeah, what do you think so far? I'm kind of surprised I've managed to get this much done in, what, 30 minutes? I am having fun. Watch me do all this work and it just get rejected as soon as I try to put it on a card and put it in Roblox. They're just gonna be like, get that out of here. It's gonna be so rude. So freaking rude, dude. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, whatever that is just crawled on me. Cringe. But yeah, I'm going to get back to doing this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you? Why? Time to add more smudging. Oh. Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope it doesn't too. I'm glad you were able to wake up and not die in your sleep. Hopefully I won't die in my sleep later. That would be silly. Silly and sad. What? Okay, that's just a freaking fly. That's all that is. I thought it was something way scarier. There's something fishy going on here. Also, I hope I'm not too cringe or anything. I'm gonna try not to be super mega ultra cringe. Dude, honestly, evil fly. Freaking gremlin fly gonna kill me mid nappies. The ultimate monster. It was the fly all along, the simple housefly. No one ever suspected it to be the ultimate criminal, the criminal mastermind we were all terrified of. It was a mere housefly all along. I'm glad I was able to actually figure out how to set up my IBIS workflow on Krita, because this is my first time ever trying it with the little layer clipping setup that's going on over here. This scary looking thing. What's cool is you can lock and unlock the alpha channel, and it forces it to all stay on the layer that it's clipped to. So I've actually drawn outside of all these lines, but because you can lock the alpha channel, it all stays on the group. So that's really fun. That's totally fair. The only reason I'm able to use it is because a while back I really splurged and was fortunate enough to be able to get a PC and this thing called the Geminos T, which is a $800 dual monitor setup. But it ended up being worth it because there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't be able to do without it. So I'm actually drawing using my finger right now, whereas on my phone I use a stylus. As you can see though, Krita's a little insane with some of what you can do on it. Like there's this feature that Ibis doesn't have as far as I'm aware. I've tried to find something similar. But it lets you turn anything into an erase layer. So whatever's behind it will get erased. This freaking bug gets on me again. I'm going to be so upset. Oh my god. But yeah, I'll demonstrate how it works. Let's see. So I can put this like rainbow color here. And it's like, oh my god, rainbow. And then you can set the layer style to erase. Now anything behind it is erased from existence. Like I could move this up above the line art and the line art's gone. And there's a lot of like crazy stuff you can do with this. I really don't know. I think it's because I started with my finger and then later got used to the stylus. But I don't know. It wasn't easy at first, but then it eventually just kind of was. You do have to take it a bit slower, though. That is one thing to keep in mind. But it just takes practice. I'll admit it took me like 2 to 3 years to get to where I was actually good at doing it consistently. But I've been doing digital art seriously for like 5 years, which I think I may have mentioned before, but I think as far as what I can do with it, I like Krita a lot more. There's just so many things, like there's extra filters that you don't normally have. Like, oh my god, I gotta show you this one. Let's see if I can duplicate this group. Yeah, I can. So I'm gonna make this entire group into this is just temporary for like demonstration purposes, but there's a gradient map. Okay, I can't do that. I gotta merge the group first. So now that I've merged the group, I can apply this gradient map filter, and this is something I like to play around with a lot. It's a paid feature on Ibis, and that bothers me because this thing is powerful. You can force your entire drawing to abide by color theory, essentially. Here, I'm actually getting the window because it's on the dual monitor, you couldn't see it for a minute. There's this gradient map filter. You can choose between all these different presets that other people have made, and they're like files that you can use. But like here, it forces everything to have like a burning set of colors. And there's just so many different ones. I've actually used it on quite a few of my drawings as like a final phase thing. But you can make some really, really fun colorations with it. And so that's something that really I don't think should be paywalled, even if it is like advanced technology or whatever. Right? I feel the same way. I've felt that way ever since they added the feature like 2 years ago. I remember seeing it and it had that little yellow circle above it and it was like, yeah, you can't use this. You're not paying $15 a month or however. It might be a year. Might be a yearly subscription, which isn't bad, but I'm like, I shouldn't have to pay at all for this. So a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll take my drawing, save it as a PSD, which is a Photoshop layer file, and I have this folder that I call Lifeline, and it's got almost 4 gigs of the IPV files, which are the IBIS Paint files, and it stores all of your layer data, and then PSDs store most of it, but it flattens a lot of things, and it doesn't apply your filters and your clipping and all that. But that was how I got it in here. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Hey, Kit Doodles! What's up? Krita's so fun. I also haven't used it as much as I'd like to, like as much as I should. But yeah, I got all these things up here. These are all my backups. So like every file from IBIS is here. But yeah, usually I can just drag them in here and whee. But one thing I love to do with the gradient mapping is I'll pick something like, I don't know, this one, and then I'll lower the opacity down to like 50% so that you can see some of the colors behind it. And then you can apply layer styles on top of that. So I like this heat glow and freeze reflect hybrid layer style, and it really just blends the colors nicely. So normally it's like this, but you can really push all the colors out of it. I might end up doing something like this with the final colors, because this just looks cool. But yeah, stuff that you have to pay to do in IBIS. Oh, the misery. But yeah, I love Krita. One of the main reasons I got this PC was so that I would have something strong enough to use Krita reliably while recording. And then I just didn't record anything for a year. Like, I did a few art streams and then was just too shy and then didn't do anything. And then was sad. But I've been forcing myself to do it since a few days ago. And the reason is because our doggo died a year ago on just like 2 days ago. I think that was what I had already said. And you know, I've just been kind of broken up about it. And I had promised her years ago, or not years ago, but a year ago, that when she died I was going to start doing this, and then I just couldn't do it. So now I'm doing it. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. I want to do this more often. Because honestly, it's fun. I like getting out of my comfort zone. Though I mostly just have an uncomfort zone, if I'm being honest. I don't really It's hard for me to be comfortable. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I appreciate you guys showing up, because honestly I didn't think I'd have anyone watching the stream. Dude, this is looking crazy.
Get ready to move your finger. I'm moving my finger very much. Luigi!
Oh, I appreciate it.
I do have a pretty good Luigi impression. But the previous one was a Mario. Oh yeah. Mario, Mario. Mamma mia.
Whoa, wrong brush. Ah! This freaking fly keeps landing on me. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it so far. Oh, it's all good. I appreciate you showing up. And I might be going for a few more hours. I'm thinking till maybe like 1 or 1 for me. It's currently 11:39 for me. I don't really know what time it is for you guys.
Hand. Scare.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot that so fast, but you know, we got that goldfish memory. Oh, no. That's that hurt, though. Hopefully the next one won't pass you by.
It would be bad.
On the magic school bus, cruising on down Main Street. Hey, that'd be cool. Oh, you drawing too? Nice. We twinning out here for real. But yeah, I'd be down. pretty cool. I'd also love to do some mowing sometime, but I'm a little scared with how hot it is. I don't know why it's gotta be so hot outside, man. Oh man. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot too. But I think the main reason I forgot is just because there's so many other things I'm having to keep track of lately. Like, one thing I'm also having to do whenever I'm not drawing stuff like this is lately I've been having to learn multiple different programming languages. So it's like I'm either coding or I'm drawing or I'm doing both sometimes at like the same time. But I also want to get good at like making music and stuff too. There's much to be done. Yeah, coding is pretty tough sometimes, but it's fun. Like, once you actually start to have things do what you want them to a little bit, it's like, oh my god, anything is possible. But it is pretty hard. And yeah, music is also hard. I have an audio workspace, and I haven't really dabbled with it as much as I should, but there's so many things you have to learn, like plugins, and I haven't even gotten to stuff like chord progression yet, but that's a thing. One thing I did do earlier, though, was finally play on my harmonicas that I've had for like 6 years and never used a single time, even though I really like them. But I've been claiming tons of like free plugins that I get ads for on like Instagram. And there are so many. I think my favorite one so far, though, was this one called Magic Dice. And it lets you randomize different effects that it applies to your instrument. So it can do just about anything, but it's like the result is random every time. So it's almost like gambling to get a good sound. Oh boy. Yeah, trying to think of what kind of language they're going to have you learn depending on the job field. It's probably mainly going to be C++. And that one's like, it's a little bit easier than Python, but it's the other hardest language as far as I'm aware. I've only played around with it a little bit, and Python, I made an app with it, but I was having to follow like an AI chatbot's instructions and then try to remember what I was taught, because actual lessons usually cost a lot of money. There's some free ones that I've found, but there's not as many as I'd like there to be. Yo, self-teaching piano is crazy. Props to you for giving them all a go, though. I understand quitting them, though, because that is some dedication. None of those are easy. I wanted to play the guitar. Oh, okay. See you soon. But the reason I wasn't able to play the guitar is because I have this weird thing where there's a little bit of skin that grows under my fingernails on the back, so I can't trim my nails shorter like a lot of people can. And when I would try to play the guitar at all, it would hurt really bad. And since I can't actually trim those without getting like surgery and being on pain deadeners and stuff, I basically can't ever play something like the guitar. Which is fine. There's other stuff I can do, like drawing. Dude, I'm so proud of this. This is almost done already. I'm gonna have to give her a background and add some glowiness to the correct areas, but other than that, this is already peak. Oh yeah, one insane thing about Krita is that there are these ridiculous brushes in this one brush pack I found. One of them lets you just manifest lightning. And I've actually used it for Helmet Guy's card art before. But you can literally just move your finger or stylus or whatever in a straight line, and it does all the work for you. Oh yeah, I feel that. Like singing in the shower and stuff. That's always fun to do. I've been told I have a good singing voice, but I'm like, too shy about it. As I am with many things. Let's see about doing something a little crazy with this brush here. Give her some like rainbow glow. She got that glow though. I hit the wrong button. Animated brushes. I don't think I am actually. I do know how to animate in Krita, to an extent. Like, I've made an animation in it, but I did not know there were animated brushes. Do their effects apply over like multiple frames, like keyframes? Because that sounds insane. I see. I might have to look into that more later if I can remember to. Because that seems awesome. I appreciate you telling me about it. Also, yeah, this rainbow effect did not quite do what I wanted. Though, actually, I do have these amazing glitch tools here. Ooh. Yeah, if I shrink the brush size, this might be great. Give her some light. Ooh. Yeah, this is why I love Krita. Because you can do crazy stuff like this. Like, I'll always have a soft spot for Ibis. But I can't do nothing like this on there. This is just crazy talk. The guys who made these brush packs free are absolute goats. Like, wow, they're goated. Aw, man. Not having time to do things that you want to do is one of the worst feelings in the world. I always wish that I could live for like 1,000,000 years. Because I'd be drawing for that 1,000,000 years, honestly. Because I enjoy art too much. And like, I've been drawing for an hour on this. Bleh. I'm gonna add a little shiny white layer here. Now, do I want to try this bubble brush for it? Bubble brush. Maybe I do, actually. Maybe I do want to do that. Lower the opacity. I don't know, it's not quite doing what I want it to do. Also, the amount of brushes I like spam downloaded a while back is insane. My actual like full brush list is huge. It's friggin' huge. I even got this one. It was actually one of the first ones I got. It's called Metallics by someone named Draneria. And it has like real gold and stuff. It's like, what? How'd y'all even make this? Yeah, you can just do stuff like that. Oh, wow, that's crazy. 110 hours. Ibis, you goofing. Ibis, why you goof so much? Why you play too much? Yeah, I've had where one of my oldest artworks, the actual draw time was like 36 hours, but I might actually show you my wallpaper. This thing took 80 hours of nonstop work before I was done with it. I think it's the longest drawing I ever made. But it has, at the time when I made it, all of my characters on it. Now, I do have a character named E Minum that didn't exist yet. And also, oh, thank you. I made this as like a celebration for my 22nd birthday. And I'm 24 now, so it's been like 2 years, but almost 3 technically. But yeah, at the time this was like all their updated designs. Yeah, 30 hours. Whew. That's good though. That means you really cared about what you were making, which I always feel is very important. I used to worry about like how long I would take, but nowadays stuff like this usually takes me 3 hours at most. Like the line art for this actually took me 30 minutes yesterday. And the base colors took like 10 to 15, and then I've been spending like an hour on it on stream so far. But I got more lazy with my lines. It just got like easier to do. The more you do it, the better you'll be at it. Understandable. Line art up until the start of this year when I started making these cards, it took me like 3 hours by itself. No exceptions. And it's because I used to do this thing where I would not allow there to be any gaps in the line art. Like here, where it's a little thin, and there's a few spots where, because I was being quicker, like here, there's a gap. I think I have OCD or something, because I would not allow there to be a gap anywhere, and I would rage if there was one and I found it later. And eventually I was like, you know what? I've got to get quicker at this. Yeah, here's the biggest gap in it. So I eventually just didn't care. I just let there be gaps everywhere, like right here. It's like, let there be a gap. Because whenever I go to color it, I can just draw a line here. And then just use the fill tool for the outside of the image and then invert it so that it's on the inside. So you don't actually have to worry about it, but that's one tip I would give anybody to be able to speed up their art, is just don't even worry about little imperfections. Because ultimately, when you zoom out, that thumbnail is what really matters. That's why dudes like Weapon are so successful on Ibis. Is when you zoom in, it's like, ooh, that's a little rough. That's a little rough there, buddy boy. Are you sure? But then you zoom out and it's like, oh. I'm gonna check and see if I have just a black background. What's it gonna look like? Let's see, I need to make this be the, isolate active layer. And then fill it in, and then unisolate. I wanted to see how this lighting would... Yeah, that looks cool. At first I wasn't sure about it, but now I think I am. That just looks cool. With all the rainbow. Rainbow. One thing I also learned how to do that's kind of insane is making a custom taskbar. I spent like a week figuring out how to do that. And so I put the Mikonkos from Yu-Gi-Oh! Since they're some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. I put them on it. And you can put literally any image on it. But I had to use this thing called Windhawk. 18 headshots in under 20 hours? Man, I gotta get good. I'm freaking slow. Also, I forgot I need to add a multiply layer. Multiply and then set it to be this color again. So I'm gonna start working on that. Get that multiply in there. And I use that for like the absolute darkest areas. Oh crap, I forgot to turn on the alpha lock. Ooh, this fly needs to go away, man. Get off me. Get off me. Why does it want me so bad? Yeah, multiply layers are peak. I love them. Do you like to use a lot of different layer styles, or is that just like a... Is that like a I'm crazy thing? Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that I do that are like a... That's an I'm crazy thing, you know? Probably not as many as I think, but I'm sure there's some. Oh, holy moly. Finna be cruising on down Main Street. Yeah, overlay's fun. I need to use it more if I'm being honest, which I am. There we go. Why does this fly want to land on me? That's so crazy. It's because I'm streaming. It's because I'm streaming. It wants me to crash out so bad. Oh, nah. This is so crazy. Yeah. Honestly, on Ibis I'm like that. And then on Krita, I just go crazy. I just start using like, I don't know, 10 brushes. But on Ibis, I just use 2. There's this brush an old friend of mine gave me before she quit using Ibis. And it was this brush called This Is a Pen, and it has like a funny little emote on it, like a little emoji face. And I've just been using that at for a while it was at 5 pixels, and I could not draw any thinner lines than that. Then I went down to 3, and then this year I was able to reduce the pixel count for the brush down to 1.5 for like ultra precision. And it really made it faster for me as well, which is what I wanted, was to increase speed and just level up in general. But yeah, that is pretty much the only brush I use besides the airbrush at this point. But then on Krita, you know, I'm just using... Currently it's mainly just a few, but it changes between different sessions, because I have to relearn how to do everything. I've used the lasso tool before, and if I do use it, it's mainly the selection layer that I'm working in, which functions like a lasso. but a lot of the time I'll take the selection layer, draw in it, and then erase a bunch, and that'll be how I use it. But as far as actually using the lasso tool, I have to use like a smudger in post, because the pixelation that the lasso tool applies just stresses me out. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You'd think as a pixel artist as well that I wouldn't be freaking out about pixels, but I don't know. For some reason it does mess with me. I'm fine with other people doing it though. It only bothers me if it's my work. Now I might be misunderstanding what you mean by lasso art though. I don't know. Probably not. Also, so much of my drawing is just me zooming into the canvas, zooming out, doing nothing, and then thinking, and then just repeat that like 50 times. I'm always scared in the back of my mind that it's going to annoy people if I'm streaming. Oh. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna have to look for that. So that's like in the list of brushes. Let's see, that must be... I might be blind. I think I'm blind. Well, technically I'm legally blind, but that's different. Yeah, I weirdly can't find it. I don't know why. Yeah. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, round, 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 round. trying to think of what to do to this next. I think I just need to add the white light to it. Gotta decide on a brush to use for that. Maybe this one? This one doesn't do anything. I think that one was a smudger. Definitely not that. Could just go with like a basic little fella. Might even turn this into an add layer. No. Oh man, 5 words. Okay. Angelfish, mom died, revenge. I don't know if that properly explains anything, though. Yeah, I did it. I pass. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a CRITA file just to be safe. I'm gonna save it as a PNG. And then I'm gonna re-import that PNG on top. And then the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to do the gradient map thing with the 50% opacity, heat, glow, freeze, reflect thing. Map. Gradient map. These are so cool looking. It genuinely makes me angry that this is a paid feature on Ibis, because these are too cool. Man, this one's kind of hard not to choose. What's really cool about the gradient map thing is even if you don't find one that you like, you could just tweak it further. Like I could just start messing with this. This one's almost impossible not to choose. I don't know, it just looks cool. The fire one. Also, this spot, this group of like 4 pixels has been bothering me. I have to fix it. There we're up. No. I have to actually go down to this layer. There we go. There's something fishy. Also, the reason I gave her this shirt that says there's something fishy on it is because she's an angel fish, and I just randomly had the idea yesterday. And I was like, it's perfect. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save the PNG again. Oh, it's all good. I'm gonna try to still be here when you guys get back, though I do have to hop off in like 30 minutes. But I'll be trying to stream like this more often. I might even stream our thing where we combine the different body parts that we drew to make a new creature. I haven't drawn that yet just because I've been trying to work on the cards and stuff. But I do want to work on that again very soon, and I'll try to stream that. This really is turning out so cool, though. I like how dynamic it is. Time to draw outer space. It is my favorite place. Ah. Hey, yes I did. I am glad you have returned. I've been playing around with different colors, and I'm about to do some blending on this thing. I'm working on the outer space background, because I realized it had to have one. Ooh, I got you. Speaking of, there's this tool that I've used for a little while now called BREF that is absolutely insane. You could take a bunch of images. Let me see if I can give an example. I'm just gonna use like random pictures that I have up here. And you can just like drag them in. It loads them all up and then puts them on this grid. And then one thing I learned that you can do is you can go normalize by size. And then you can arrange them optimal. And you get this like really pretty grid, and it keeps them all at their full resolution. So you can like zoom in on one of them or just have them all here. And then when I've got my dual monitor set up, it's da 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 da, and it could just cover both monitors completely. It's absolutely ridiculous. I agree. But yeah, it's free. And it's super lightweight. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm honestly almost done with this drawing. It's kind of insane. I didn't think I'd be done with it so fast. I'm gonna get like a yellow light over here. Make it like huge. And then get like a pink one up here. And then maybe do a bit of smudging on it. And then do some smoothing on it after that. Yeah. Might do one more hard light layer that is a yellowy color with this so that I can get some of that light. I don't know what my brain is doing. I had the tool selected the whole time, and yet I was looking for it like it was my phone or something. It's like, why, man? It's right there. Ah, I struggle with that sometimes. Trying to think of something. Could think about like outer space. Like, what are your favorite things in outer space? Ooh, that's really cool, actually. I used to want a like a big observation bubble on the top of the house that I could use as like a little observatory to look up at the stars, but then my brain eventually understood what money was and that we were, you know, quite poor. And I'm like, oh, this is not possible. But we did have a telescope one time when I was really young, and that thing was cool. One thing I've been reading about is that before the year is over, they're going to start launching solar mirrors into the sky in certain places to block out nighttime. So that's crazy. It's like, how is that real? Ooh. They're really cool. I did not see that. I need to pay more attention to when stuff like that happens, because I didn't even know about it. Eclipses are so cool, though. Oh, wow, 90% is crazy. I think I've heard they make special glasses that let you look at it, but I don't know if they're always 100% effective, and I wouldn't want to risk it if it isn't. I'm not fully sure, but this kind of feels like it might be done. This turned out to be a really cool stream. I'll probably stick around for a few more minutes and like get up and stretch and stuff, but oh yeah, and I'm also gonna put it on the card. Probably do that on stream. Oh, I gotcha. Seems like it might be perfect timing then. That's crazy. I really like how this turned out though. Here's to hoping it actually gets into Roblox without getting banned again. I've been having to make sure I test these on an alt account, because if you get your main account banned, you're just kind of screwed. So luckily, that's an option where I could just swap over, get that one banned for a day, and then swap back. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you like how it turned out. Honestly, for it being one of my quickest drawings ever, it's a little insane that it ended up looking this good. It was a lot of fun too. I'm gonna see about sending the frame for it from my phone through Mega and then over to here so that I can edit it on stream. Let's see. Goodbye, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with me. I shall stream again very soon. I'm gonna stay on it for a few more minutes just to see. I just realized I saved the file and didn't actually share it. Alright. So now what I'll do is I will go put these artworks into my Mega. Boink, boink, boink. And now, because synced folders are amazing, they're already on my PC. And there they are, all the frame parts. Which means all I gotta do is drag them into a new document, put another layer on top, put the final layer on top of that one, insert a layer here, put the alt art in here, and then scale layer to a new size. The percent will be 65%, because I found that that is just, oh, not the image, I meant the layer. Scale layer to a new size. Percent by percent. What? 65. Right. That was not the correct way to do that. You want your longest side to be 65. I think. I'm still doing it wrong, but that's okay. It can honestly fit in here however it needs to in order to look right. Yeah, I think this is going to be a cool looking card. I could probably just keep the frame the same. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, one of my new best artworks. Completely caught on camera. That's very cool. I think that might be a good place for me to end the stream. It's perfect timing. So yeah, if you made it all the way, I really appreciate it. Well, actually, I'm the only one watching now, but in post, whenever this gets uploaded, if you're still here at the end, I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching anyway. And checking out my neat little drawing. You know what? There's one little thing I need to fix. Later, I won't be able to stand looking at this. And I have to fix it right now. Oh, I can't. I forgot. Because there's also this one. There's 2 layers of it. That's okay. Still looks great. And especially from a distance, you can't tell. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. I like it. I like it a lot. And that will end the stream for me. Goodbye.